Hello, I'm Justin Hill, prize-winning author and creator of Worlds of Words, and welcome to Advent 2023, where, as I'm approaching 20 books published, I thought it'd be interesting to look back at the kind of 12 interesting stories and 12 interesting books that revolve around them. And this one is perhaps the weirdest. I was halfway through Viking Fire, living in Hong Kong, and I had an email from an agent I knew who was based in Hong Kong and who specialized in Chinese translations and Chinese authors, saying the sequel to Oscar-winning film Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon is coming out, and would you be interested in writing the novelization? And of course I said yes, because even though I didn't know how to or anything about the project, I think often the best answer is yes, and then work it out. But it went against everything I thought I knew about myself as a writer, which was I didn't plan novels. I've kind of found the story. I didn't want to know what happened at the end because the writer's like the first reader of the novel, and so if I knew what was going to happen at the end, would it be interesting? And I wasn't sure. I felt some of those ideas I had about myself were self-limiting. Shield Wall had just taken me 5 years. And was it just a description of the process I'd followed so far as opposed to what would be the ideal process, if that makes sense? So I said yes, it went ahead. I got the deal. And about a year before the film was actually shot, I was given the script, and I didn't know at the time, but the kind of project manager was Harvey Weinstein, and I think we were dealing with his publishing company. It's all a bit murky now, but and he was kind of famously, as well as being, sexually deeply inappropriate, and I think now convicted as well. He was famously difficult to deal with, and you can get the kind of vibes coming through my publisher from their publisher anyway. So the process was put in place. I wrote the book in 5 months. I was given the script and wrote the book, and I was handing in kind of chapters each month to my editor, like a quarter of the book. So not only did I know what happened in the story, it went against everything I thought I knew. I had to do it in a short time. I had to kind of bang it in one draft. And I knew everything happened. And also, I learned quite a lot about the film process. So I had the script by John Fusco. And when they made Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, it was from a series of novels by a Chinese author. And they'd kind of butchered bits from all the novels and stuck them together. So it was kind of a nightmare job of trying to fit together what was left into another story. And it amazed me, actually, as a novelist, how little there is in the script. Well, basically how much the kind of the actors and filmmakers do. And some of the character choices kind of surprised me, to say, put it politely. And I couldn't make some of them work. So you can make some things work on film, through action and explosions or drama and things, and it just doesn't work in a novel because you're working at a different level. So I made some changes, and I finished writing, and in the last month or so, last 6 weeks I think of my writing the novel, the film was being shot, and having written the novel, I suddenly got all these kind of revisions to the script coming through. They kind of came through every day. And I was like, well, I can't change what I've written now. And actually, the changes I'd made to the script to make it make sense a bit more were kind of changes that were coming through in the dailies, whatever they call them, on set, where things are changed. And then it came out, and fabulously looking book. Though it was the first novel, I think, to go straight to the first novel that goes straight to Netflix. So the cinemas boycotted it, and so it was a bit of a flop. And the novelization, it did, medium well, but it was really going to ride on the book. On the film. So it all kind of disappeared. Anyway, it was a very interesting experience, and for me, it broke the kind of the self-description I had in myself as being very artistic and unable to write a book if I didn't know if I knew what the ending was, and all this stuff I told myself. I put it aside, and I found I could write just as well in a 5-month deadline with knowing the story, exactly what happened all the way through. And that was good. And that set me up for the next part of my career, which we'll come to in the next episode.